I don't recall anything like this ever happening before, where schools were closed due to anything. So this pandemic, also known as COVID-19, has really shaken up systems and the way things are so used to being. It's changing the scope of what we would consider normal, without a doubt. Okay, so let's make sure we understand that. And this isn't something that's ever happened before. So this is a new experience for everybody. It's not something that we had cooked up in the past. This is something that hit us all. This is a situation that we're all trying to do our best to deal with. Okay? So for now, for the time being, it is remote learning, at least until November 1st, when we're able to re-examine the entire situation with our buildings and with the nurses and whatever safety precautions and measures that are in place. We're going to review it again in October, the end of October, to see if remote learning will continue past November, or if we can return to a limited hybrid model of in-person learning. I wanted to, to say go live. I wanted to go live today because I didn't quite know how to put it into words, because a lot of times when you read a post, sometimes it can get lost in translation, and you probably wonder, well, where's he going with this? I figure if I verbally say it, it'll be more so understood. As you all know, we previously voted on a hybrid model for a reopening plan for the schools. Remember that, right? At that time, when the news article came out about that, the community came out strong and said, hey, we are not in favor of opening the schools. You all need to do, a better job, and so forth and so on. So, school board president, got together, with the rest of us, and he drew up a resolution that basically agreed to that we have to make sure that our schools are safe and that we should not have them in the buildings. We made sure that it was a resolution that reflected the concerns of the community. So then we came back and we voted to do remote learning, hearing the feedback from the community after receiving the results of the survey that was put out, both on the state level, on the local level. Taking all of that information into consideration, decided to say, okay, let's open up remotely and see where we are in November, see if we have measures in place that would make it safe for our children to return to school. And it's been mentioned millions of times, and we know it. Our schools are overcrowded. They've been overcrowded for a while. I know that because I've been on the front lines with the SDA in Trenton for years, fighting for, more schools for our district. Before I was even on the board, before I even got on the board in 2012, I would go down with Johnny Latner and many others to fight to try to get buildings for our district. So I know what we're facing in terms of space. And the biggest issue was, how in the world could we promote social distancing with 35 children in the classroom? You know what I mean? And that's impossible. You can't do that. So, we decided, after hearing feedback from the community and, the parents, teachers, the community, we decided, okay, we need to do it. We need to go remote for now, at least for the first couple of months, until we really see what's going on, to see if there's any difference or if there's any measures that are going to be put in place. And we listed some of the requirements that we want to see as a board before we feel safe and comfortable with allowing our children to return to in-person instruction. Now, I know there's a lot of parents who are upset about that. Let me tell you, my son is being taught remotely. Now, he goes to school. it's North Jersey Elks. It's a school for children that you need to have some sort of handicap or special needs children. However, he's staying home. He doesn't want to wear a mask. If you try to put any kind of face covering or anything like that on him, he's going to snatch it off. So he's not going to go to any in-person classroom. He's being taught remotely. My daughter's being taught remotely. Of course, all the students at Paterson. What I'm saying is, you have to, and I know this is not the easiest thing in the world, but you have to decide for yourself with what's going on now and with the reports that there could very well be a spike in the actual pandemic itself between September and December. Do we really feel at this point that it's safe just to send all the kids back? Do we think that that's a safe call to say, let's just send everybody back and see what happens? Is that really a safe call? I mean, I know, like I said, this is an unprecedented time. And there's absolutely no easy way to get through this. Let's make sure that's understood. So if we're looking for a one-word answer to get us out of this, there's absolutely no easy way to get through this. This is a very difficult time for everybody. And that needs to be understood as we go into this new school year. We need to go into this new school year prayerful, but we also need to go into this new school year realistically and understand that this is not going to be an easy start of the year. That there's going to be a lot of challenges this year because of what COVID-19 presented. There's going to be a lot of challenges, but we have to find a way to meet at the middle, find a medium, meet at the middle and work together from there. I know there's going to be plenty of debates and arguments about, just as there has been, about whether they should go, whether they should stay home, whatever the case may be, remote learning versus in-person instruction. And I get it. I know that being home is not the same as actually being taught in the classroom. We get that. Safety, however, has to become a priority in this matter. And then you have the issue of the vaccines, where they want to start trying to test people out with vaccines. Most of you don't want to. I don't blame you. Most of y'all don't want to deal with it. I don't want to try that nonsense either. But this is why we're saying we need to keep our children home until we find a safe route back into the school buildings. That's all we're saying. School buildings do not have, and it's a shame, they do not have a proper ventilation system. There are classrooms that the windows don't even open. I don't know if you're comfortable sending your child into an environment like that. And like I said, there's no easy answer. I know folks are saying how I'm supposed to work. I don't even know how to answer that. This is not an easy situation. It's not a one-word answer type thing. This is a very difficult time. You know, I know a couple of folks who work for the city of Paterson who they were able to get paid leave because they're doing some because they're doing the remote learning. And I hope that a lot of these jobs, if the government really wants to help alleviate the pain, forget about that stimulus nonsense. Put together something where jobs can offer paid leave, where they could be compensated for the time that they have to be at home. If they really want to pass something that could assist parents, instead of just sending another stimulus, try to work out an agreement with employers throughout the country to find ways and incentives that if parents have to take a leave of absence, that they can do so, with pay due to the situation that we're dealing with. Because this situation isn't anyone's fault in terms of locally. It's not the parents' fault. It's not the board's fault. The board didn't sit around and create the pandemic. So we have to really understand that the blame game thing is nonsense. You guys know I talk straight. The blame game thing, that doesn't work because it's not your fault and it's not our fault. This was something that came out of nowhere pretty much, locally, all right? And we're dealing with it. Let me just let that go by. So we're dealing with this situation the best way we can. And we know that there were some tough decisions that were made, and there's going to be plenty more tough decisions that are going to be made, without a doubt. We had to make some tough decisions these past 6 months, and we're going to have to make some tough decisions within the next 6 months. There's without a doubt, because this is a situation that's unprecedented. It's a situation that is really a story for the history books, to be honest with you. And I can guarantee you some producer or some director somewhere is getting ready to put a movie together about this particular situation. I can guarantee it, if they haven't already. But I want to encourage the young people, I want to encourage the students, if your children are home with you watching this, or I want to encourage the young people that, you know, persevering through struggles and persevering through obstacles is not fun, but it's rewarding in the end, because you can truly say that you made it through a difficult time and you persevered despite all of the odds being against progress or success. You pushed through and you made it happen. Okay? It's not the easiest thing in the world, no. But I just want you to know that it's going to be worth it when we get through this. When we finally get through this and we actually evolve to that next level where we're past COVID, because I do believe that we're going to get past this situation. The students that persevere and say, okay, we're going to make this work. As much as an inconvenience as it is to have to be home on a computer versus being in the classroom, we're still going to find a way to make this work so that we can be able to tell our children one day and our grandchildren one day of how we went through one of the worst years of our lives and we still persevered despite the many obstacles that were placed in our way. All right, so let's encourage our young people. Let's encourage our children. Let's be their backbone. We're the only cheerleader that they really have right now, because they don't have the teachers in the classroom at the moment because of the remote learning. So they don't have that encouragement that they get in the classroom during the day. So we need to be surrogate teachers, surrogate educators. We need to be the ones that is there with them right now while they're going through this process. No matter how long it takes, we need to be their voices now more than ever. Not to say that we weren't before, but we need to be their resounding voices now more than ever before. Because if there has ever been a time when our children need us the most, it's right now. Not to say that you haven't been there. We've been there for our children. But right now is what we call a defining moment. This is a moment. This is a pivotal point in our child's academic progress. This is a pivotal point and a pivotal moment where we have to decide, do we let our children just fall off by the wayside, or do we take this situation, as terrible as it is and as complex as it is, do we take this situation and just let them fall, or do we hold them up and push through it with them so that when this particular season or chapter is completed, we can say that we hung in there, our children did their level best, and they were able to move to the next level because they fought hard. So, are there going to be obstacles going forward between now and the next 6 months? Absolutely. It would be crazy for anybody to think that we don't have any more obstacles coming. Of course we are. Life is filled with them. But we can withstand any test that comes in front of us as long as we don't give up. And as long as we persevere, as long as we fight through it and don't allow it to cause us to fold, we're going to make it. Okay, so I'm encouraging our young people, do not fold. Hold to what you believe in, your dreams, your aspirations, everything you want to achieve and accomplish in life. Now's the opportunity to make that happen. Now's the opportunity to say, I'm going to go through this no matter what the storm is, no matter what the obstacles I'm facing. I'm going to persevere and I'm going to push through this, and I'm going to be successful because I'm not going to give up. Okay, that's all I really wanted to say. I want to encourage you as we get ready to go into this new year. I'm continually working with parents, so continue to reach out to me, continue to get your answers done, and I wish you guys the best this year. All right, much success, 2021. Kids, let's get it done. All right, peace.